my.
What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi with a brand new deck profile video. This time I'll be going back and bringing back one of my classic decks, the Batteryman Hunder mix. The Thunder Shutdown deck was a fun experiment to try, but as of right now, it's still too inconsistent for me to use constantly and guarantee any form of real success unless I constantly go first. So I'm going to shelve it for now and bring back one of my old favorites that I got rid of temporarily for the sake of this new experiment and update it a little bit so that it can be consistent with future Link monsters should I ever choose to put any in. So let's see where this goes. Starting off with the monster lineup, we have a playset of Batteryman Microcell. One of the easiest to abuse engines in this deck. When it's flipped face up, you special summon any level 4 or lower Batteryman monster from your deck, and then if after it's flipped face up it's destroyed by balance into the grave, you get to draw one card. This is actually a +3 when you use it in tandem with a specific Batteryman, 9-Volt, who, when it is normal or special summoned, adds one Batteryman monster from your deck to your hand. And if its search is successful, it doubles its own attack and defense. But it dies during your next end phase. So the combo would go flip Microcell, summon 9-Volt, get 9-Volt Search, and then draw a card off a Microcell if it was destroyed in battle directly after. One of the primary targets you can add is Batteryman AAA, who when normal summoned allows you to special summon a AAA from your hand or graveyard. It's great if you have the ability to discard it, like through Twin Twisters or something. Now moving into the next set, we have a pair, Ma Hunder and Pa Hunder, who work really well and tandemly together. They have the ability to normal summon another Thunder Light level 4 from your hand, as long as it's not another copy of itself, because obviously that would just be broken. Next up, we have a playset of Batteryman Charger, a card I didn't use in the old version because I thought that the level 4 version would be a little bit more consistent. When it's normal summon, you have the ability to special summon any Batteryman from your deck, and he gains 300 attack points for every single Thunder monster you control. Batteryman Fuel Cell can special summon itself from your hand if you control 2 or more Batterymen, which is easy to do. And once per turn, you have the ability to tribute a Batteryman you control to send one card your opponent controls from the field to the hand. This was considered one of the most annoying monsters in this entire deck. And then finally, we have a single copy of Batteryman Industrial Strength, their boss monster. You can only summon it by banishing 2 Batterymen from your graveyard and then special summoning it from your hand. Once per turn though, you have the ability to banish any Thunder monster from your graveyard to destroy a monster and a spell trap. Next we move into the spell cards, starting with a playset of Battery Charger. You pay 500 points and special summon any Batteryman from your graveyard. Usually you'd use this to bring back your 9-Volt if you haven't summoned one already and get your +1. Then we have Double Dark Hole, obvious. Then we have Triple Recycling Batteries. You add 2 Thunder monsters from your grave to your hand with 1500 or less attack. Everything level 4 or lower is able to be added with this card. Then we have Double Short Circuit, one of the most annoying cards in the deck alongside Fuel Cell. If you have 3 or more Batterymen, which is not difficult to do, you destroy all opponents' monsters and spell traps. Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster in one, with a slight restriction. And finally, 2 Twin Twisters. You discard a card which will most likely be one of your AAAs to destroy up to 2 spell traps on the field. Finally, we have the trap cards. Starting off with Bottomless Trap Hole, staple in all of my decks. 2 Call the Haunted, brings back 1 monster from the grave in attack mode. Portable Battery Packet 2, which is Call the Haunted with a bonus. It brings back any 2 Batterymen from your graveyard in attack mode. But if both of those monsters leave, this card gets destroyed, and if this card leaves, both of those monsters are destroyed as well. And then 1 Solemn Warning, staple in pretty much everyone's deck. Next we move into the side deck, starting with the Triple Bro Hunder, the latest addition to the Hunder family, who upon normal summoning lets you add any level 4 Light Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. I also run a pair of Vylon Prism, who, when it goes from the field to the graveyard, can act as an equip card on a monster by paying 500 points, and while it's equipped, if that monster were to battle an opponent's monster, it gains 1000 attack during the damage step only. It's also a tuner, which means you can go into one of the only 2 synchro monsters in the extra deck. We also have an extra copy of Batteryman Industrial Strength, Brain Control, 2 MST in the event that Twin Twisters and Short Circuit just aren't enough, Quick Charger, which is another version of recycling batteries exclusively to Batterymen, adding 2 level 4 or lower Batterymen from the graveyard to the hand. If it said 2 Batterymen instead of 2 level 4 or lower, this card would be in this deck instantaneously. Also the third Call of the Haunted, double Fiendish Chain, not running any memory loss because Link Summoning kind of makes it irrelevant now, Mirror Force, and Torrential Tribute. And finally we finish up with the extra deck. We have 1 Stardust Spark Dragon, who can protect a card you control from being destroyed by battle or card effects once per turn. We have Mistworm, which is surprisingly a Thunder-type monster. When it's summoned, you get to bounce any 3 cards your opponent controls back to the hand. This actually goes really well in tandem with the Vylon, because that means you can just do a massive field clear and then a massive amount of damage. We also have double Bujinte Tsukuyomi, who has the ability to detach a material, drop your hand, minimum 1, then draw 2 new cards. But it does have another effect that involves Bujin monsters, however I don't have any others, just this one, so there's no point in mentioning it. Then we have 2 Utopia. Everybody knows what this is going to be used for, but its own effect isn't terrible. It has the ability to detach and negate an attack. Then we have the Thunder Spark Dragon, requiring 3 level 4 monsters. You can triple detach to destroy all other monsters on the field, but if you somehow put 5 on it, it has the ability to destroy all the opponent's cards. Also running 1 Photon Pappy Operative, mostly because Subterrors and eventually Crawlers are kind of a thing. It flips any face-down monster on the field face-up by detaching material, and then reduces its attack by 600 points, which does make it a tandem combo if you use it on Microcell. Triple Starliege Paladino, a classic in this deck. Double detach, target an opponent's monster, change its attack to 0, and negate its effects. And if this card were to be destroyed, you get to draw a card, meaning that you get back some of what you lost in just summoning it. Also running the 2 Utopia the Lightning, which is the obvious counterpart to the Utopia. When it attacks, you double detach to make its attack point 5,000. Anytime it battles, your opponent cannot activate anything. And you can stack it on top of a Utopia monster instead of summoning it legitimately. Also running 1 Utopia Beyond. When it exceeds summoned, you turn all opponent's monsters' attack points to 0, and while this effect is no longer really applied, given the circumstances with the dual field, you can detach a material during either turn, banish a different Xyz monster you control, then special summon a Utopia out of your graveyard, and if you do, you gain 1250 points. And then finally we have 1 Photon Strike Bouncer during either player's turn, once per turn. When an opponent's monster activates its effects, you can detach a material, negate it, then deal them 1000 damage, which leaves them with a monster, but since it doesn't have its effect, it's theoretically useless. And that's the deck. I'm not really sure which Link monsters would be best suited to use in this deck. Right now my opinions would be a single Proxy Dragon, a single VLAN Hydra, if we ever get it, and a single Firewall Dragon when it eventually becomes cheap enough to get. But it's still up in the air right now. I did record some video footage of using this deck through YuGiOh Pro, which is currently linked down below the video in my notes. And feel free to take a look and give me your opinions on that. Thank you guys for watching my video, and if you can think of any other suggestions I can make to this deck, feel free to let me know. In the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.
What's the next stage? What's the next stage?